Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. The walls of your cage rattled every time Dottore's voice rose in curiosity or boredom. You never quite knew which one he felt, when he pressed needles into your skin, or whispered strange words to the assistants behind the curtain. You only knew the fear, quiet, constant, and close like your own shadow. You were a number here. Not a name, just one of the many test subjects. But one day, everything would change. It was the sound of footsteps, not alarms, that first made your heart thud differently. Heavy, purposeful, but not rushed, not panicked. You curled deeper into the corner of your enclosure. The tattered blanket, clutched tight, half hidden behind a thick metal frame. Something inside you telling you not to breathe, not to make a sound. But the footsteps stopped, right in front of your cage. And then you heard her voice. You there. She called. It was cold, but unlike the Dottores' sharp, clinical tone, hers was final, absolute. The door to her cage creaked open. It had never done that before, and it had never done so before without pain following. So you tensed. A hand reached in, waiting, and you stared at it. Are you afraid of me? She asked, voice low and even. You didn't answer. You weren't sure if you were more afraid of her, or what would happen if you didn't take her hand. That's good, she muttered, more to herself than to you. Fear keeps you alive, but you won't need it in my house. You blinked up at her, confused. Your voice was hoarse. You hadn't spoken in days. What? What house? Her eyes met yours, and in them was something strangely fierce, protective. The house of the hearth, she said. Come with me, and you'll never return to this lab. That's a promise. You looked past her, at the Tory's equipment, the scalpel trays, the blood-stained floor, the little toy you were once given for cooperating, then back at her. Then, trembling, you placed your small hand in hers. You didn't understand much after that. There was yelling, screams, and alarms, fire dancing along the hallways. But you held your hand the entire time, even when you stumbled, even when you cried. She never let go, and she never let anything harm you. The house was warm once you got to it. It was the way the other children looked at you when you arrived. A mix of surprise, curiosity, but most importantly, familiarity. They knew what it was like. Most of them had been there, one way or another, somewhere scared and in pain. They know what it's like to not have anyone, and finally belong to this family. They know how it feels to not know anything at all, to feel this distrust, and to finally begin to believe in the warmth that the house held. You slept in a soft bed for the first time in years. You ate soup that wasn't gray or dull. You were given clothes, real ones and not just thin robes. And then a few days later, she came into your room while you were sitting quietly on the windowsill. How are you feeling? You're startled, nearly falling off the ledge. She caught you with ease, steadying you with both her hands on your shoulders. Her touch was cold, but not cruel, never to hurt. I I don't know, you said honestly. And she walked over to your desk, eyeing the drawing you'd left there. A mess of lines, vaguely forming the shape of her. You turned red and looked away, embarrassed. But she didn't mock it. Instead, she tapped one finger on the paper. Not bad. You blinked up at her, lips parting. Why? Why'd you take me? Her gaze was unreadable. She turned toward the window, her posture stiff, but her voice had softened. Because I saw a child, not a tool or an experiment. Just a child that needed saving. You looked down at your hands. Do I have to earn my place here? Her head snapped towards you. You don't have to earn being treated like a person. That isn't conditional in this house. All that we ask is loyalty. Do you understand? You nodded, and she nodded back, satisfied. Good. But after a pause, she added in a gentler tone. However, it is time you start thinking about your name. If you don't have one, you can choose. I can just pick? You can. Or you can keep yours, if you remember it. Whatever makes you feel like you belong to yourself again, she says, with no judgment whatsoever. And you smiled, nodding, because for once, you had things to think about, a future ahead of you. And all of that was thanks to her. You were no longer Subject 36. You were someone who belonged to a family, and you were going to take your destiny into your own hands.